Good morning and welcome to an overcast day at Bicester Heritage. And we're here for the all-new MG ZS Hybrid Plus. I'm Ben Quirk, welcome to Planet Auto. Listen to that. Can't you just tell we're in the Cotswolds? And with the new ZS Hybrid Plus. What a year it's been for MG. 5 launches in the last 6 months, including centenary celebrations at Goodwood. It's astounding the growth that they've achieved. In less than 10 years, MG have turned their brand into, well, essentially a mega brand in the UK, selling over 100,000 of these in the last 7 years. And everything they release, well, just gets better. I mean, take the HS we've just driven, wow. And that's now on its 2nd generation, much like this. And has it changed? Oh yes, mightily. We've just had the petrols and the electrics. This is now hybrid. It's better equipped. It's got way more practicality. Believe it or not, there's actually an extra 40 features in this vehicle. Additions to things like MG Pilot. Now, one of the things that really stood out to me, especially back in 2017, and that was the size of the wheels. They looked diddy. Whereas this, the new Trophy, sits on 18s, where it should. I mean, just look at the side profile of the vehicle. They've also done some tweaks to the shaping. Now, yes, we've seen increases of prices of SUVs over the last 7 years go pretty crazy, to be honest. Super Minis are now just under £20,000. Never thought I'd say that. But then you look at this in the SE trim, and it'll cost you £21,995. That is a lot of SUV for the money. And the thing is, it's bigger than the previous gen. Talk about value for money. Pretty much the only thing in common with the previous gen is the name. Like HS, I'm having a heck of a job finding something I don't like or that's wrong. So far, there's no reach in the steering wheel. Powered by a 1.5 4-cylinder non-turbocharged engine that's been reworked. So it's not the one that was in the previous gen, and had a 1.83 kilowatt hour battery, which is pretty big for a vehicle like this, and then an electric motor coupled to a 3-speed automatic transmission. And the way it puts its power down is quite something. And there's around 5 modes that it uses itself. I mean, as we drove this powertrain in the MG3 when we went down to Goodwood, we knew what to expect. And it's no different in here. Nearly 200 brake, putting it in something like this, when you think the previous gen had around 115, well, it ticks all the boxes. Now we've got the Trophy, so it's all singing and dancing. Price, £24,495, which is about £2,500 more than the SC. The SC is very well equipped, don't get me wrong, but it's what you get extra when you go for the Trophy. Now, one thing that's maintained across the whole of the ZS range is safety. So MG Pilot, all features are rolled out across every vehicle. Also, still a 7-year warranty with 80,000 miles. You're looking at this and thinking, okay, you've got a hybrid. When are we going to see a new ZS EV? Between you, me and the gatepost, there's a new one coming next year, but it's not going to be on this platform. But let's get back to this one. The hybrid system is awesome. I mean, we drove over 900 miles in the MG3. And it didn't skip a beat. The thing is, we don't expect it to. All the bad karma and negativity that came at the beginning was purely and simply because, oh look, MG's now Chinese. And I can wholeheartedly say, that was a very good thing. You never used to see any MGs on the road. You'd see one every Preston Guild. Yes, that's a local term, but it means never, pretty much. And now, you just see them all over the roads, and the thing is, people are raving about them. The comments we get across the channel, and the fact that they just keep updating their range, it never gets stale. Design direction is on point, it really is. But it's not just that, it feels far more grounded. The suspension's pliable, but not to the point that it compromises dynamics and agility. It's fun to drive, and you'll still get something like 50 to 55 mpg. And you don't have to charge it, and it connects to the smart app, and. Yeah, I'm raving about it, but for good reason. It's good, very good. Now, as I mentioned, it's a completely new SUV. It utilises the design language that we first saw on MG3. I mean, just look at the grille, the way it tows down with this chunky, it's almost like a DTM lip spoiler. Very nice. The vents, and yes, they do allow airflow, so that helps with efficiency and also grounding the car. LED lights, automatic, high beam assist, and all that jazz. And then you've got MG Pilot, a substantial safety system that's been upgraded. Everything from lane keep assist through to collision detection, bicycle detection, cross traffic alert, you name it. This is front wheel drive and it's got a decent ride height. It would be nice to see an all wheel drive, especially with this powertrain. Wow, that would be something. Great visibility throughout, and I love these new design lines on the bonnet. And if you've noticed, the MG badge has moved from the grille to here, far more prominent. From the side, you can tell it's got a touch bigger, and it has grown 10 centimeters in length. It's also a little taller and a little wider. And it really does translate, especially when you get in the cabin. It does feel more spacious. But HS did exactly the same thing. Fantastic looking wheels with a mid-profile tyre. And even if you go for the SE, you get 17s. Wow, the wind is certainly picking up. Hopefully it's not affecting sound. Apologies if it is. It's sporty and off-roady, and that really appeals. The plastic cladding here, and then the sporty side skirts. And look at the space in the arches. Colour-coded, power folding, heated, adjustable, and blind spot detection. It's amazing what you can get in a mirror nowadays. Keyless entry and colour-coded door handles. And I do like the chrome strip, and if you've noticed, it just runs along the bottom, so it's not over chroming. And these, lovely. You've got 6 colours to choose from. This is in Monument Silver. Climbing in, wow, looks to be child's play. The door opens to a nice width, a padded area here, and there's some new materials too. I had to dip my head ever so slightly, but apart from that, simplicity. Well, it's certainly changed. You still have essentially the cluster area, but I suppose it's more enveloped. And just look at this new screen. Oh wow, this has returned. So this is where you adjust your mirrors, and if you push it in, then it will power fold them. Ooh, adjustable lights. I wonder if that means this can tow. Solid, nice. I love the padding on the door card here. Even stitching on this harder plastic. It would have been nice to see a soft touch, but the previous one didn't have it, so I can understand why it's not there. What does matter is the fact that you've got the armrest here and the armrest here. They've made excellent use of the space, which is quite strange considering it looks like this has grown and become far more substantial. But with it, you've got things like a wireless charging pad, 2 USBs, and there's 12 volt in the center. Also, there's a USB up here for a dash cam, cup holders, and a proper driving modes button. There's far more soft touches in here, and also some of the design lines. If you've noticed the curves here, and then the padding that envelops. This is all soft touch. I mean, there's a fair few hard plastics, but they're a pretty good grade. And certain parts do flex a little, but generally everything's pretty solid. Good to see use of proper buttons. Would have been nice to see some padding on these sections. The thing is, where do you draw the line? This is what you call a cost-effective solution for a decent sized SUV. What looks like the MG4 steering wheel, lovely. Reach in the steering wheel, but you do have rake. You've got your favoriting system with the little stars. It's like something off Mario. Hey, it's me, Mario. We've got this mapped to the HVAC, which is the heater system. And new to ZS Hybrid, you can actually adjust the heat and the cold using the joystick. Because 9 times out of 10, you'd have to wade through screens and press buttons. If we press the little star, it then brings up HVAC, and that is so handy. And it means you don't have to take your hands off the steering wheel. I can even adjust the fan speed with this. I love the shape of the shifter. It's a 3-speed auto, so you pretty much just put it in drive, reverse, neutral or park, and this is where you turn on the vehicle. Electronic handbrake and your driving modes, eco, normal and sport. But on top of that you've got 3 regen levels. The only thing that is missing is the paddles to change it. As we've mapped it to here, we can change it just with this button, but if you did want to go in, you could find it in the screen. It does appear we've lost the panoramic like HS. That does seem a strange thing to omit from a car, especially with the UK. We do love our sunroofs. Hopefully we'll see that return on the next gen, or maybe a special edition. Cluster very straightforward. You've got your revs and you can see your regen, you see information in the centre of the screen, things like safety, media. Great to see big chunky stalks. It's a shame that we've said goodbye to the circular vents, but like HS I can see why. These work far better, it's a better flow. Also they're very easy to clean. The infotainment system, it's a brand new 12.3 inch screen. Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, DAB radio, navigation, very straightforward to use and responsive. So if you can go in, you can see your climate, radio, music, USBs, a new 360 camera, HD quality. Look at the difference compared to the previous gen. Shortcut buttons here, you can see we've got heated seats and a heated steering wheel, and there's where I was talking about binding the vehicle to the app, and that will give you lots of information including economy, find my car, whether it's locked, etc, etc. Vehicle settings, you can see your lamps, your MG Pilot, your driving, your convenience and your status. Very straightforward to turn your fan on and off, your rear demister, your front demister, hazards, home button and volume up and down. They've overhauled MG Pilot as well and added some new features. I mean, it's pretty good to start with. Rearward collision warning too. Oh wow. So alert sensitivity. Comfortable buckety seats. They are black and I don't think there's a different colour. But they're comfortable, they're supportive and they're finished rather nicely too. Mine's electric and Annabelle's is manual. And there's lumbar adjustment on the side of the seat. No grab handle, but there is on every other door. Headroom. What's that? 2.5 inches? Impressive. And bear in mind, I'm 6'3" and around 18 stone. Great leg room, and I've got a footrest on the left hand side. One thing that stands out in new ZS is the extra storage points. Here, there isn't one on the driver's side, but you've got, if you lift up centre armrest, decent stowage point too. They've just been clever about the space. Glove box, that's a decent size. Nice. A couple of things I'd like to see in a future iteration are an auto dimming mirror and adjustable seat belts. For what you get for the money, it's quite unbeatable. Let's take a look in the back. I almost forgot. With the audio system, we've got 6 speakers. And to think, some of the earlier MGs only had speakers in the front. If you like this type of video, why not subscribe to the channel? You just hit the button on the right hand side. It's free and you'll get an alert every time we upload. Also, if you do like the video, why not give it a like? It all helps and it means we can get more cars. Thank you. ZS has got such a lovely silhouette. I mean, the slope of the roofline, but not to the point that it hinders headroom in the rear. One thing that we wanted for years and then all of a sudden appeared was privacy glass. At the beginning, it just wasn't available. It's a smart looking SUV and it stops as well as it goes. Discs all round with vented at the front. Let's take a look in the rear. The door opens nice and wide and it's a decent opening. Hard plastics once again, but a lovely padded armrest. Decent opening. Climbing in. I don't even need to really dip my head. Yeah, it certainly feels bigger in here. I mean, this is set for me at 6'3", and I've still got this much room. Ooh, little animal. Hello. I purposely put my seat on the floor and I can get my feet under it, so that's nice. There is a bit of a bar, but it's nothing to write home about. One thing that'd be nice to see on a subsequent model is heated seats. You've got an electric window and a decent door pocket. Sat in this position and looking at that angle, you can see it's grown quite significantly. It feels far more spacious. I also think the rear seat's been raised a bit as well, because I've got a great view out the windscreen. sat like this, which is normal position. What's that? 2 inches? That's remarkable. It would have been nice to see some, I don't know, features, accents, whatever you want to call them, to lighten up the seats. But dark interiors, they just seem to be a thing of today's world. But because you've got that, it does make it feel light and airy and rather spacious. They're quite big windows too. I've got a perfect view here. Big back window, and you've got your little window here as well. So there's lots of light that can get in. Even with these dark sunglasses, it's still relatively light. Taking them off, and yeah, no, impressive. One omission once again. No real light. Mind you, it was the same in the MG4. Hopefully, on subsequent models, that'll be rectified. The seats don't slide and there is no recline. But if you've noticed, it's at a rather, well, comfortable angle. Now you could go on a long haul in this without any problem whatsoever. Vents in the middle, and we've got a USB, and we've got a slightly raised transmission tunnel. Pockets on the back of the seats, and there is no pull down armrest. It'd be nice to see one of those too. Isofix points, and we've got airbags around the vehicle and a little coat hook. No, it's comfortable. You've got supportive seats. They're not too buckety, but no, they feel good. Let's take a look at the back. A thing of beauty. I mean, just look at the styling at the bottom. And there is actually an exhaust there too. LEDs, and I do love the sculpting. They're great to see a rear wiper. Sporty rear spoiler and a high level brake light, and the emblem centrally located. Very nice. Parking sensors, reversing camera, rear collision alert, and rear cross traffic alert too. Let's take a look in the boot. So I can release it with a key fob, or there's a button just on the right hand side of the dash. No power tailgate. Decent size, but believe it or not, it's actually 5 litres smaller because of the hybrid system, which isn't losing much considering it's a new powertrain. Slight boot lip, and you've got extra space under here, inflation kit. Nice to see the reduced boot lip. It's a pretty flat loading area. Also reinforced plastic here, which means that you won't damage any of the paintwork when loading. Storage point there, and this is a solid floor. You've also got tethering hooks, and they're anchored to the body. Nice. Easy to remove the parcel shelf, just little strings. They just lift off. And that just pops out. It's quite a big parcel shelf. Coat hooks and a rear light. Nice and easy to release. You just literally push this forwards and ta-da! It doesn't lay entirely flat, but it's pretty damn good. I mentioned before they decreased the space in the boot, but when you drop the seats down, it is bigger than the previous gen. I'll quite easily get my EMTB in here. Probably have to remove the front wheel, but it is a behemoth. But no, decent space throughout. Let's take a look under the bonnet. Pull this to release, just push this right. Now this is a heavy bonnet, and it would have really benefited from some struts, but this is nice and solid and it's easy to see where it locates. Hybrid, so the first time we've ever seen this is ZS. Immense. And just under 200 brake horsepower at your foot. Nice. Very easy to see where you top up fluids. Time to see what it's like on the open road. Welcome behind the wheel of the new MG ZS Hybrid Plus. And as you've gathered, we're in the Cotswolds, so some perfect roads to see how this handles. And to see where we can put to work the just under 200 brake horsepower powertrain. So under the bonnet we've got a 1.5 4-cylinder engine, non-turbocharged, and then a 1.83 kilowatt hour battery and electric motor. That is a heck of a lot of power to put in a vehicle of this size. Mind you, we said that with the MG3, which is even more astonishing. The thing is, it may be bigger than the MG3, but you don't really notice the lack of power. Primarily because there isn't any. Like I mentioned before, the only thing that is in common is quite literally the name. 1 mile. It may look the same, but underneath, no. No, it's far more grounded. It seems to have a better suspension setup. The other one was a little bit wallowy, especially the first ZS EV. But this, wow, what a transformation. The refinement's improved across the vehicle too. Very little road noise, or wind noise from, say, the mirrors.
And it is a windy day today, isn't it? Yeah.
And we're travelling at 55 as well.
Yeah.
As for the hybrid powertrain, it works extremely well. And it's got a seamless transition between modes. And it may not have a pure EV mode, but it does drop into electric when it can. It's very seamless. And I think it's got 5 modes, named like series, where it will use a little bit of electric power, where it'll use the petrol engine, or then it'll use the petrol engine and the electric, and then it'll use, say, regen, etc, etc.
I think it's like series and parallel and that kind of thing.
That's it.
Yeah.
You don't really need to know about that. No. Quite literally, you just get in and you hit drive, and then because it's got a 3-speed automatic, that's it.
It does it all for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the beauty of the hybrid system from MG. And to be honest, quite a lot of hybrid systems by manufacturers. But it also gives you the best of both worlds as well, so you're not reliant on electric. The other thing is, you don't have to charge it. You know, all plus points. Now the hybrid, I think it's where it's strongest with electrification. It's sport and gun it. Now it's fast on takeoff, but then when you put your foot down again, it gets like a second burst. And it still returns around 50 to the gallon. And on roads like this, comfortable experience. It's dynamic and agile enough, but at the same time, it's like perfect for a family SUV, isn't it? It is, yeah. It's ticking so many boxes. That's it. It's fun on a back lane, but equally is at home on a motorway. The steering's nice and weighty, but it's got great feedback and a good feel to it. Nice and responsive. Out of junctions, well, most things will have a challenge catching you. The thing is, it's not all about that. You put it in eco and it just transforms it. But it is fun demonstrating the power of your 200 brake horsepower. And if you've noticed, it's not wobbling all over the shop. It feels well grounded. Even when you're accelerating hard, it's easy to control. It's not scrabbling for grip. You might get a slight wheel spin. In a word, they've just made ZS better. It's got better steering. It's got better handling. It's got a bigger engine and better economy. The Cannonball just mentioned, they've kept the price down too. Enjoyable experience, isn't it? Yeah, very much so. You combine that with MG Pilot and all its safety systems, and it's very well equipped and extremely good value. You can go for the SE or the Trophy. From any angle, it's a really good proposition when you're looking for a car. It is. Test drive yourself and come back and tell us what you thought. Yeah, and remember, 7 years warranty, 80,000 miles. Thanks for watching.